So today's video is going to be on cutting tubing, and well, there's basically three, but I don't use the third one. Two categories of cutting it. There's the chop saw, and then there's the bandsaw, the horizontal bandsaw. You can use a vertical one, but it's a little more tricky. Tubes tend to turn around, and you can hurt yourself. So, and also you could use an angle grinder, but I don't recommend that at all because they don't come out straight, square. There's a lot of cleaning up to do. I just buy yourself a chop saw, and they're only like a few bucks, $50 at Harbor Freight. So the first one's gonna be the bandsaw. The pros and cons of it. Pro is the cut is very square, very true. You can tune it up. The blades last a while. Cons is the blades are expensive. The bandsaw itself is expensive, and it takes a decent amount of time. I don't know, depending on your machine, probably takes from a minute to 2.5 minutes to cut a cut, depending on the speed or the material, the thickness, and stuff like that. I use that probably 60% of the time, and the other 40% I use the chop saw, which was this tube right here, which we did, and I'll show you guys all that later on in the video. But chop saw is cheap, blades are cheap if you're going with the abrasive saws. It works good, it's fast, probably 15 seconds a cut as opposed to a minute to 2 minutes on the bandsaw. Pros and cons. There's a lot of slag, and it creates a lot of heat and dross and stuff on the inside and outside of the pipe after you're done with it. It's not the truest cut. It's probably, I don't know, it goes for anywhere from 35 to 50 thousandths lopsided cut. Yeah, I mean, creates heat, sparks. You could hurt yourself. It's very dangerous. You gotta wear, you always should wear your PPE, but you gotta wear extra ones when working with the chop saw. Cons is, yeah, cons is you can hurt yourself. The dross inside, a lot of time spent with prep and cleanup to get it ready to butt up and straight weld with it. So I will show you those two processes now. So the saw cut does a pretty good job. It's a little slow, but the cut quality is very good. I don't know if you can see that right there. You still have to clean up the inside a little bit, but it's very minor. But what I do with the face is I just go to the belt sander here, and it literally takes 10 seconds to clean it up. I'm just trying to dress this, and I bevel these edges a little bit for welding. So we'll get to that now. That's literally all it takes. You got a smooth pipe all the way around, no burrs on the outside. Now for the burrs on the inside, all I do for the burrs on the inside is just take a simple file. Very simple. Now this tube hasn't been cleaned inside, it still has the bending fluids in it, but just a quick little file like that. And let me get a paper towel, and I'll show you guys how I clean this up. Normally I clean the bending fluid out before I use it, but so just some acetone or brake clean in there, and it's pretty stubborn, so I have to get in there, but at least you get an idea of what the tube looks like afterwards. So here we go. That's all ready to weld, so you're ready to butt something up here and weld it. And it fits very well. This is an unfinished piece right here, but you can see the gap is pretty much perfect. You ready to weld? The second method is the chop saw method. Pretty simple. This is just a abrasive blade. You can use carbide, whatever you want. When I do this, I don't like to use a stand. Most of the time I take it off, but I don't use it that often, so I just leave it on. But how I cut them is, I don't recommend this. I recommend you use the vise on here, but I just plant my hand somewhere on the vise and then hold the tube. Now this has a tendency to grab, and it might, you might lose a couple digits or get hurt, but that's why you should use the vise. So basically, if you're gonna do this, which, like I said, don't do it, but if you are, plant your hand somewhere on the vise here, so you're just holding the tube with 1 or 2 fingers, so if it does rip out, your hand stays where it is and the tube will just rip out. So I'll just do a quick little cut. Make sure you wear your safety protection, your PPE. Just do a quick little simple cut right here. And let's go. You can see that's not, it works, but it leaves a bunch of jagged edges on the inside. You have to deal with all that slag, but it works. So most of the time I use the bandsaw, but if I'm doing quick exhaust jobs, I use the chop saw. And you could see it creates a decent amount of heat here, this coloring, and the cut is not 100% straight. The bandsaw, you could tune it up to where you could get probably within 5/1000 of a square cut. But this is probably, 40 some thousandths off, because the blade deflection and the RPMs make the blade wander a bit. So you have to clean that up before you do anything to it. And it'll take a little more time and prep. To clean it up, I basically use the same thing as the bandsaw method. Just on the belt sander here. Just get rid of the burrs on the outside, and then we'll handle the inside on a different tool. There's that cleaned up. Now we'll go handle the inside. Now to clean up the inside, what I usually use is an angle die grinder with a round porting stone. And I'm just going around the inside. It's pretty quick work. You can also use a carbide bit or whatever you want to do. So let's give it a quick go. That's pretty quick work. I'm already done. So let me put this down and I'll show you. So there's the, I don't know if you can see that at all because of the light. Let me try to move you guys here. So there's the inside. Pretty good to go. Now what I would do to finish this is because there's heat marks and stuff, take a quick Scotch-Brite, 5 to 10 seconds with it, and it shines it up pretty good, and you're ready to go. You're ready to weld on it.